Okay, so a new episode of AI's Hit. Today we're, again, like last week, we will attempt to understand AI's capacity for photography. We will focus on history via profiles of famous photographers of the past and present. And again, as last week, we will look at it for the better or for the worse to see how we can rediscover their work. So feel free and to go check the better sources and compare them. Again, I will rely on OpenAI, Dall-E for illustrations, and Open GPT for their historical data, but also a little bit of Midjourney to compare. So let's start. AI, could you please tell us about the bio of this mystery photographer?
He is a Japanese photographer known for his seascape and architectural photographs. He was born in Tokyo in 1948 and studied politics and sociology at Rikyo University before moving to the United States in 1970 to attend art school at the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. He began his career as a commercial photographer in New York City, but soon began to focus on fine art photography. His most famous series is his seascapes, in which he photographs the sea in different times of day and in different seasons, with the horizon always perfectly level. He also has a series of architectural photographs in which he captures the lines and forms of famous buildings and monuments around the world. He continues to work and exhibit his photographs internationally.
Okay, so I think it's pretty stylized this week. Maybe you've guessed who that is, and ta-da! Hiroshi Sugimoto. So yeah, let's try to get more from AI. So AI, could you please give us some details on the specificities of his style?
One of the key elements that sets Sugimoto's work apart from that of other photographers is his use of long exposures. For his seascape series, he uses exposures that can last for several minutes, which allows him to capture the sea in a state of constant flux, creating a sense of timelessness and serenity in the final image.
Okay, nice. So I guess here it's tried to show us a portrait that could be in the style of Sugimoto, but he's obviously, here's AI, he or she is adding some long exposure feeling with some motion blur, but the sea is quite spot on the right, as we could have seen already in the previous images in the intro. So let's check a little bit more.
Additionally, in his series of architectural photographs, he focuses on the geometric shapes and lines of the buildings and often removes all signs of human presence, giving the buildings a sense of monumentality and timelessness. He also photographs the building at different times of the day and night, which can change the appearance of the building.
Here's interesting, two pictures. The one on the left definitely is quite minimalistic with this sense of light and dark by use of the shadow on one side of the building and the perspective and this kind of eerie look that could definitely be in the style. So again, like last week, I'm impressed. Even so, it's definitely not perfect, far from it. But yeah, interesting. We do start to see some interesting things from AI. And on the right, interestingly enough, it actually relied on creating a diptych to give us a sense of a building by night and day. So it's like if it understood the concept behind it. One picture, one photograph can actually be two scenes together. Interesting. I'm not sure how to interpret this, but I really find this result interesting per se.
Another aspect that differentiates Sugimoto's work is his use of black and white film, which gives the photographs a timeless classic quality. He also prints his photographs using traditional darkroom techniques, which results in prints with a rich tonal range and deep blacks.
Okay, interesting. So the picture on the right, I find that quite curious, but I think it definitely mixed the horizons from the landscape series to the way the photographer creates human portraits. So this picture also kind of reveals the mechanism at work behind. And yeah, otherwise the style and the minimalistic, very contrasty scene, simple, could well express that photographer's style. And again, Hiroshi's work with islands and sea on the right, I guess it's trying to bring us some notions of Asia near Japan, and I think it kind of works well. And we have this deep and very contrasty sky, which really illustrates, I think, well the rich tonal range ChatGPT answered me with. But yeah, very interesting. I really push you to go check the real work and the real bio. But while we have an AI Hiroshi, let's maybe ask for something custom. Could we have a photo portrait of a Japanese opera singer standing on a patio overlooking the ocean with a designer house on the right in the style of Hiroshi Sugimoto? Okay, so the first two pictures are with Midjourney. From last week, I think the results from this AI tool the tool actually has a style. So maybe my request is making it fight against it to try to relay and to convey Hiroshi's style. But I'm not as convinced than with the Dall-E images. But even so, it's interesting. It's trying to have this flat horizon. It used the black and white, very minimalistic approach to composition. I'm not sure about the side it decided to put the house on. I'm not sure it understood the request or that small variation. But yeah, interesting. Again, the style of what we can see with Midjourney, things seem more clean and more finished, but I'm not sure it's as rich in terms of results. Here, those two results now are from Dall-E. I think it's not as finished. There's probably ways, and there's surely ways to go more in detail and refine everything. That's for sure. But my requests were quite simple. But I think it conveys better the style and looks that you could find in the work of Hiroshi. Again, the opera singer wasn't very explicit in the first two images from Midjourney. Here, I think it's got a more artistic looking demeanor for the two characters. And again, the house, the side of the house, I'm not sure that works. Maybe it's choosing to put it on the side of the character. I don't think it's actually doing much there, but who knows? Yeah. And the last two pictures, again, I do feel there's a good try and some success in trying to show us what the style of Hiroshi is. Two interesting pictures per se, but very limited. It's definitely not something super refined. But yeah, at least I hope it entertained you and that you will go check the real information, the real works from this great photographer. And yeah, see you next week with another photographer.